Philadelphia 76ers the way he did last night. That's the way to handle your business. I saw perfection from a point guard. I want to bring that up, too. And, of course, there are people out there in the NBA that consider all of us peons, puppets, and Lord knows what else. I'll get into all of that as well. But the NFL draft took place last night, and I got to confess, my Pittsburgh Steelers have questions. That's why I got my man Keyshawn here, my man Dan Orlovsky. He's here by himself. He flew coach by himself. That's okay.
You're so silly.
That's okay.
Oh, my
Molly.
God. Hi.
Snow White, the Blaze. I like. First takes and a half. Let's go.
Good day. Welcome into First Take on this Feel Good Friday. Day one of the draft in the books, live from Vegas. And I am crewed up. Dan Orlovsky, Keyshawn Johnson, Stephen A. Smith. I'm Molly Karam. Fellas, how we feeling? How we doing?
I feel amazing.
Yeah?
I feel amazing. Now, I have to correct you on something.
What?
Good morning to you, Molly.
Good morning.
Key, what up?
Good morning, yes.
What up,
I didn't. What up,
Okay,
though?
go ahead.
I
Spent
did
a lot
not
of time in Michigan.
fly out here, coach. I flew out here in first class because I did not book nor pay for the flight. But on the way home this past weekend,
Wait, what?
with my family, we did sit in 37. We were
Oh,
37 A, B, C,
Damn.
D, E, E, F, D.
And you actually have no shame in admitting it. So you come out here by yourself and you fly first
But
class.
that wasn't my
when
choice.
the wife is with you, she got the fly
wasn't
coach.
your choice.
She should leave
ESPN
you.
forced you?
She should leave
ESPN
you.
forced my
ESPN
hand
was like,
to
you
fly.
belong in first class.
And you say this with a smile on your
We want to
face.
pay more
Because-
money.
Because I've been out here
Seriously,
for
Dan?
3 days. I've been out here for 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
I have had a dozen people come up to me and be like, how'd you fly out here? Is Stephen A. going to get mad at you for flying out here in first class and not
This is
first?
shameful.
It's
Yeah.
Stephen
This
A.
is shameful. So you can fly first class, but the wife is in coach. And she should leave you. She
You are
should
making
leave
me
you
feel
for, she
about
should leave you
2
for at
weeks.
least 2 weeks and leave you home with the kids by yourself.
Dan,
Okay?
I'd
And
rally.
then maybe you will appreciate her
It's
more.
equal.
Wow. Did
Dan.
you just, your response was, I'd rally?
I'd rally, yeah. 2 weeks home with the kiddos, I'd rally.
Oh,
It's
my
equal, though,
goodness.
Dan. If you
No,
fly
no,
first class, she should fly
I didn't
first
pay
class.
for it.
Doesn't matter, though.
Shameful.
You're a
Shameful.
cheapskate,
It's
huh?
embarrassing.
I
It's
am-
You are.
embarrassing.
Are you
I'm
cheap?
embarrassed
I'm
to have
very
you
cheap.
on this
Super
show right
cheap.
now. I'm embarrassed, and I love you, but I'm embarrassed. I can't believe how shameful you are right
Well,
now.
you'll be more embarrassed after I whoop you over these next 3 segments.
You ain't gonna
Let's
whip
go.
me.
Hey, how about my
Let's
New
get
York
it on.
football
Let's get it on.
Giants?
Let's
Turn
get
it
it on.
Giants had a good night.
Right, Giants had a great
Not
night.
bad.
Don't diminish it. It was
night.
an action-packed
Jets was better.
first night, and of course
It
you would
was.
say that. And we got you covered on all the key takeaways from round one of the NFL draft. Let's get it. Trayvon Walker was taken first overall by the Jags, but it was really the Bulldogs who stole the show. 5 Georgia players in total picked across 4 teams in the first round, all on the defensive side of the ball. 6 wide receivers taken in round one, including 3 in a row and 4 out of 5 between picks 8 and 12. Back-to-back Buckeyes picked at 11 and 12, and Chris Olave and Jameson Williams. They went to the Saints and the Lions, respectively. The big question, where were the quarterbacks? Only 1 pick in the first round. Kenny Pickett headed to the Steelers at number 20. The latest of the first quarterback has come off the board in a quarter century. I will start with you, Stephen A., since it's your team. By the way, that Kenny Pickett moment, very beautiful.
Yes.
Very emotional,
Cool
staying
story.
in his hometown, the whole
Yeah.
thing. Did the Steelers, you like the emotional story, you felt tender in your heart as well. Did the Steelers make a mistake drafting Kenny Pickett?
I'm not qualified to say that. I'm just going to be honest,
Okay.
okay? This is the NFL draft. It was a beautiful moment with his parents. It touched my heart. I must
It
admit.
did touch
I must
my
admit.
heart.
I mean, I know Stevie A love the kids. I sure do. But in the same breath, I
Hometown
love
kid.
family. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It was a beautiful, beautiful thing,
Yeah.
man. I can't deny it. But I got my questions. And again, Kenny Pickett, let me be very, very clear. I haven't seen much of this kid. I saw 1 or 2 games in the dude's career. I know there was a significant upgrade from the junior year to the senior year, completed 67% of his passes, rather. Threw for like 42 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, if I remember correctly. I mean, those are impressive numbers. We get that, okay? And I understand it. And I saw the evaluation report on him. Again, I'm going to defer to y'all because y'all know better than me. Here's my trepidation. All I've been hearing about was this kid Willis. That's all I was hearing about. If you're going to get anybody, it's that brother that you need to get the arm strength, the mobility, et cetera, et cetera. That's what people were saying about him. I sincerely hope, Key and Dan, I hope that this wasn't one of those picks where, oh, my God, you know, Dan Marino once played locally and we let him get out of Pittsburgh, so we have to make sure that we don't let this kid who stars at Pitt get out of Pittsburgh.
No one was thinking about Dan Marino.
He's homegrown. He's one of ours. Don't let him leave. I'm hoping that it wasn't an emotional decision, one based on nostalgia, that we actually got a kid that is going to put an end to Mason Rudolph, okay, and cats like that, that's going to stay, that's going to make a difference, that's going to be able to walk in from week 1 and guess what? Dare I say, beat out Mitchell Trubisky. I hope that this is that kind of kid that they weren't picking somebody just because he's homegrown.
Well, I'll tell you this. From day one, it should be an open competition between him and Mitchell Trubisky. Absolutely.
Sure.
I think the Steelers are better today. The mistake is, I don't think that Kenny Pickett is a guy that can go face-to-face with Lamar Jackson or face-to-face with Joe Burrow or face-to-face with Deshaun Watson. I do not believe he has that high-end talent. And that's why I sit there, and I was one of those people that said Steelers at 20. Malik Willis is the only guy in this draft that at that spot you feel talent-wise can at least throw punch for punch with those guys. Candidly, Stephen A., I'll tell you this. I think Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky are pretty much the same player. I mean, they are. They are guys that are good athletes. They use their legs to help them become better players. They are average with their accuracy, and they're mechanically flawed. And that's the reality. Neither guy has this high-end ability where if he's got good coaches around him and good talent around him, you sit there and go, this dude's this absolute superstar. Pay him whatever he wants. And that's why I was one of those people that if Pittsburgh at 20, if Malik Willis is there, take him. So it's not a mistake in the aspect that the Steelers are a better football team today than they were yesterday because it'll breed better competition at that spot. But I don't think that the Steelers can sit there and say within their own division, they've got a quarterback that gives them a chance over the next decade.
I'm going to try to make you feel good, Stephen A.
Okay, please do.
I think different of Mitch Trubisky than most people, okay? He wasn't taken second overall just because they liked him.
I think Mitch Trubisky's a good player.
He had some talent.
Yeah.
He had some talent.
Yeah.
He did lead a team to the playoffs or was a part of a playoff team twice.
Yeah.
So let's go there. As far as hometown hero with Kenny Pickett and all that, it's certainly factored into the equation.
There's no every day of practice.
They have more intel than anybody. They share the share the same room, basically.
Right. Yeah.
You go through one wall, you're on the Steelers side. The other wall, you're on Pitt Panther side.
Right.
I don't believe that he's going to beat out Mitch Trubisky, but that's just me right now. And in terms of Malik Willis, he can go toe-to-toe with those other guys that you mentioned, Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, but not today. It's going to take time. He has a lot of flaws as well. But I thought, when I looked at him early in the season in college when they played Ole Miss, I said to myself, he's not ready. But then during the offseason, he got better and better by training. So I'm sure when Coach Tomlin and them looked at him, they said to themselves, we think that Pickett is better. We also understand who he is. That helps us with a comfort level.
They just
but here's what I'm asking y'all both. I want to know what exactly is he? When you say you know
Kenny
what
Pickett?
he is, Kenny Pickett, what is he?
At his high end, he's Tony Romo. If he at the NFL level.
But what do you mean by that? A gunslinger?
Yeah,
gunslinger for sure.
So you got that on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not the arm strength, but it's not a steep drop off.
Okay.
But he's a gunslinger, run around, make some plays, eye-popping stuff. But then there's going to be some what are you doing type of moments. Stephen A., here's the truth for you, though. You guys don't stand a chance against Cleveland, Cincinnati, and Baltimore. You don't, because their quarterbacks are so good And the Baltimore Ravens had a phenomenal draft. The Bengals have a very good roster, and the Browns have a very good roster. So they got good rosters, and they got rock stars at quarterback. So again, this is not a, rain on Kenny Pickett morning. It's an awesome story. You guys don't stand a chance in your own division because you don't have a difference maker at quarterback.
I wouldn't say that. Like Dan, you're trying to stand a chance because I believe you got a chance every single Sunday.
Okay.
Especially with Mike Tomlin on the sideline coaching him up. There's a certain philosophy when you have this style quarterback. I'm not asking him to match a throw for throw. I need my defense to play solid and sound. I need Najee Harris to run the football. And I need, whether it's Mitch Trubisky, Rudolph, Pickett, whoever.
Don't mention Rudolph. No, I don't want to hear anything about Rudolph anymore.
Get him out.
Rudolph.
So he's gone.
Okay,
the other two, I just need to make a handful of nice throws and not turn the football over.
Keyshawn, you really think they can compete in that division? You really
that is
think
what
they can compete?
Pittsburgh has always done. We act like Ben Roethlisberger was 45 of 50, 500 yards and 6 touchdowns every game.
Not
That's
every game,
not what they did.
But the Bengals and Browns weren't as good.
Bro, this cat didn't stumble into the Hall of Fame.
They didn't have Burrow. They didn't have Deshaun Watson.
All I'm saying is, early in his career, they managed it a certain way.
But to Molly's point, early in
it was a different deal. It was
People say that, though.
It was Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and that was it.
I hate when people say
the truth.
No, it's not the truth that the game was all of a sudden changed to the point where everybody's throwing the ball all over the place. Yes, it was only 2 teams in the division. Okay, so there's 3 now. There's 3. You honestly
3 and you're not one of them.
No, but we don't know that yet.
Well, we don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet,
the games
Molly.
haven't been played. But let me ask you this question.
We know that.
No, we don't.
No, let me ask you this. Is Kenny Pickett, can he run with the football?
Yeah, he's a very good athlete.
He's a very good. So he can extend plays. He can move the chains. He can run for first downs. He is a stationary target in the pocket.
No.
Okay, that's good news.
But he is a turnover machine. And he corrected it, though. He corrected it this past year.
How?
He just got better.
Here's another truth. He's 24, or he's going to be 24 in a month. Mitch Trubisky's 27. When you're 24 in college, and Pitt had a lot of they were calling super seniors because the coach, you should play really good football.
Yeah,
You've been playing since 24 years old.
Why didn't you call your boy Louis Riddick? I'll give you the scouting report.
He's a good player.
Louis went to Pitt. He going to say the right things.
He's a good player. The Steelers entered last night 4th in the division.
And they came out 4th in the division.
Both now in the future.
That's fine. You're killing me. You're killing me. So
I'm trying to ease you up, though.
Let me summarize what y'all said. Let me summarize what y'all said. The brother got an arm.
Yep.
And he got wheels.
Yep.
But he takes chances.
Yes.
He's going to make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he ain't the brightest candle on the birthday cake.
And he's
That's
a turnover
what it sounds
machine.
like y'all are saying to me.
He's for sure a turnover machine.
He's a turnover machine as well.
And
his comp is a cowboy, so it's all good. Can we move on now and get to that bad man?
Well, I mean, I just want to make sure because, the Pickett family might be one. I'm not making any judgment. I haven't really seen it.
I don't think it's a
fan of the Pickett family.
I don't think it's a bad pick, but it's not the best pick at quarterback, but the quarterback market is bad.
Who would you have taken? I
wouldn't have taken either one of them, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have touched either one.
I would have taken Malik Willis.
See,
So I'm sitting here relying on 2 NFL experts, both of which say they wouldn't have picked Pickett. Why should I be happy about this?
Should have got Baker Mayfield. All right, can we move on? Can we move on, please?
What?
This was the year.
This is blasphemous.
Another quarterback. That Aaron Rodgers was supposed to finally get that first-round wide receiver, right? There's no way they would move on from Devontae Adams and not draft a receiver with this class. Well, not so fast. After 6 receivers were drafted before the Packers had a chance to pick, they drafted 2 more defensive players in Quay Walker and Devontae Wyatt, still without a replacement for the departed Adams. Aaron Rodgers isn't the only quarterback left looking for a top target. Lamar Jackson already up for a new contract. Now he's up for a new weapon, too, as the Baltimore Ravens traded Marquise Hollywood Brown in the 100th pick in the draft for the Cardinals' first-round pick. Brown caught 91 balls for 1,008 yards a year ago. Lamar Jackson voiced his displeasure on Twitter, tweeting 3 simple letters to tell you the story: WTF. Jackson later made it clear the pick they traded for, center Tyler Linderbaum, wasn't what upset him. Okay, Keyshawn, who should be more disappointed? Is it Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson?
I would probably say Lamar.
Okay.
I would honestly say Lamar. And the reason is one, he didn't even know that Hollywood Brown was on the move. Mm-hmm. They did. If they would have replaced, and they may still do it day 2, day 3, replace Hollywood Brown with something else, then you go, okay, this is someone he works out with, has a relationship with. You mentioned 90-plus catches, 1,000 yards. He started to kind of come on into his own after having a bunch of drops throughout his career, Molly. Mm-hmm. I don't know why the Baltimore Ravens every single year, Dan, seem to think that they don't need to address the receiver position. Although they got Rashad Bateman in the first round a year ago, he never really played. We don't know what he is. But they don't really have anything offensively. So it makes you wonder, what are they trying to do with the quarterback? The reason I don't care about Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers done made normal dudes look great and go get money, right? And so I think he can still do that with no problem at all. Mm-hmm. I think Lamar situation is way different. It's way different, man.
I'm a roll with Key on this. Okay. And the reason why I'm a roll with Key on this is for several reasons, actually. Number one, Lamar Jackson has not signed a contract extension, right?
No.
So in other words, you don't have an agent, do you? You don't have an agent. You ain't signed your contract. Well, guess what? When you ain't locked in, you understand what I'm saying? Even though the team, theoretically speaking, obviously because they don't have any intent of letting you go, when you are not locked in, when your situation is not rock solid, signed, sealed, and delivered, it kind of puts you in a position where what your feelings may be may not matter. Because at the end of the day, we need to make sure you're taken care of first. And since since you haven't made that enough of a priority to make sure that stuff gets handled, we don't care about your tweets about WTF.
Well, this doesn't help. This doesn't help.
I'm just saying, I don't think it helps them either. But the point is that you've got an opportunity to put your imprint on the franchise, not just by your extraordinary performance on the field, but by you being a part of the fabric to a degree where you're able to say, this is what I want, here's why. In terms of the pieces around me, Speak up, say something. That's number one. Number two, the reason I'd say Lamar Jackson as opposed to Aaron Rodgers, Keyshawn's absolutely right. You got your money. And by the way, you were speaking to Davante Adams. What do you mean you were shocked that he was gone? I mean, I thought you was talking to Gutekunst more. I thought you was talking to management more. I thought you were part of everything that was going on in Green Bay. I mean, why the hell did you know what they were going to do with Davante Adams? Are you sitting here, Aaron Rodgers, and telling us that you had no clue? What were you doing, getting your cleanse? Your cleanse? And while you were getting your cleanse in India or wherever the hell you were, suddenly, I mean, that's when he was moved? Last time I checked, you got back. But listen, I ain't bringing it up by accident. He's the one that sat up there and went through the cleanse and then came back and told everybody about it, giving all these gory details that none of us really wanted to hear, especially while we were eating. But he told us. He most certainly did. And Davante Adams, if I remember correctly, he didn't get traded or moved while you were doing the cleanse. It was afterwards. So if you communicating with the franchise, what the hell you mean you were surprised? And if you were surprised, why aren't you a bit more upset than you came across? Your number one weapon by a mile, who is considered arguably the best receiver in football, your team let go, and you Aaron Rodgers and seemed utterly unfazed. Why should we be fazed about anything going on with him? It's Lamar Jackson we should be concerned about.
But see, I think the communication between Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams was more like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. And Davante was like, I'll go over here with Carr because I don't. Yeah. You 1 foot in, 1 foot out, I don't need that mess.
Yeah, but it was traded after he came back from the cleanse. Yeah. It wasn't like he was out, he was gone.
Can I ask you one question before you answer this? Does something smell here with the Lamar Jackson thing to you? Because as a player, I would assume that you would want to get the deal done.
Good transition from Aaron Rodgers. Smell. Good transition. Good transition.
Well, you kept talking about cleanse and movement, so I had enough
Lamar
for you.
himself?
Yeah, I'm saying that he might not want to be in Baltimore. You think it's just
I think he wants to be in Baltimore.
You think it's just for the money, like
no,
that?
I just think Lamar does not care about anything more important right now than winning a Super Bowl. I honestly believe that.
You don't want your guaranteed money, God forbid you get hurt. Why wouldn't you protect yourself?
I don't think that young man fears anything.
And he's not going to get hurt, Molly, because he ain't getting on the field, Dan, in September till he gets his contract done.
I don't think he fears that. I just don't. I think he's ultra confident in himself. You both are dead wrong on this, by the way.
Why?
Shout out to McAfee and Du Bois for having Aaron on last night. Phenomenal show, by the way. Here's my thing.
When are you going on? When are you going on?
Whenever
are you going to be his backup?
I think the bottom feeders have to wait a little bit. The peasants, the low bodies. You guys are, dude.
Tell me.
The Packers flipped Davante Adams for 2 defensive question mark project development players for a top 10 defense. Key. The Green Bay Packers were a top 10 defense last year. And they
got better.
But they were top
I'm saying in the end, they got better.
Are the Packers a bona fide Super Bowl contender Friday morning after the draft? But don't. I'm answering no.
As long as you got 12.
God bless no,
As
Key.
long as you got 12, man.
Key, their number 2 pass catchers coming off ACL surgery.
I've watched 12 developed receivers, as I said before.
Hoover.
Who? First of all, Devontae Adams. I'll start there. He helped develop him.
Okay.
Lazar helped develop him. MVS
Marquez
helped develop him.
Right.
Then Randall Cobb helped develop him. I could go on and on the list of them that he helped develop. I'm not saying that all of a sudden Devontae Adams is going to walk in the building. We don't know what they're going to do in these next rounds coming up offensively.
Yes, so they've got 2 picks in the second round tonight that maybe there's no way. We all sat here, Key, and said that they had to go get a wide receiver. Their number 1 wide receiver is Alan Lazard right now, who runs a 4.6. He's a good player, but they have no speed on offense.
I understand, but the draft is not over with yet.
But you act like they're the only team drafting in the second round.
I don't.
There's a bunch of teams that need.
Over with yet, and you got 12. You just made his job harder. You made it harder, no question about it.
So
it doesn't mean that he can't get it done because he's shown us that he can.
Lamar Jackson, I think, was probably a little bit more hurt personally. Him and Hollywood are good friends.
Yeah,
they're both from right. So like the fact that he doesn't
Florida
know
kids, the whole deal.
Right, and Hollywood is the one that requested out. He's probably hurt a little bit more. We should have seen the tea leaves because the Ravens have been drafting receivers over the past couple years. The Packers did not need defensive reinforcements. They had a top 10 defense. They lost the playoff game and they gave up 13 points.
Yeah,
this football
team
team is
reinforcement
offensively. They needed a piece defensively, but not in those 2 first-round picks. The lack of aggressiveness. We are sitting here, or lack of aggression. Mm-hmm. We are sitting here going, man, Philadelphia didn't wait. Philadelphia went up and realized there was urgency. The New York Jets traded back in. Right. There was urgency. The Packers just sat and were not aggressive. And I'll tell you this. I think that the Lions and the Vikings, the gap between the Packers and the Lions and Vikings is not that big anymore. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Stephen A. Mark my words. Mark my words.
The Lions.
Mark my words.
Hold up. They had a good draft, and they do have a quarterback.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like Jared
Goff. Yeah, Goff is the middle of the pack quarterback. Am I right?
And Malik Willis is still on the board.
Maybe he's not your boy Matthew Stafford.
Correct.
That was
solid,
a good draft.
Solid, good player.
Right?
Yeah, good player.
He's better than. Wait, hold up. He's better than what the Steelers have.
You can say that, but they don't. But Dan Campbell ain't Mike Tomlin.
Stephen A.
Okay, so let's be
Yeah,
very
but Dan Campbell.
We don't know that though. We don't know that though. We don't know that though.
Because Dan Campbell had those boys playing.
Play hard.
Listen, I know that you try religiously to make the Detroit Lions relevant.
No, they did.
They're about to be a problem.
I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure.
How'd you forget that?
I'm quite sure. They do have good nights on draft night. But how does it translate to the season? The fact that you're going to sit up there and say, oh, they're not that far apart from the Packers. I mean, stop.
They were doing the same thing your team was doing last year.
Stop it.
Stop it.
No, he said the Vikings. He didn't say the Packers, did you?
No, I said the Lions and the Vikings closed the gap.
He said the Lions.
No, on Green Bay.
Oh, no, stop it.
Man, no.
Stop it.
They got Jameson Williams.
Stop it.
Guys, how are you sitting here telling me that the Green Bay Packers are exponentially better in their division?
No.
Their offense is not explosive.
Listen.
They lost to Jimmy Garoppolo last year.
They have Aaron Rodgers.
I know that.
You have Jared Goff.
Correct.
They have their history. You have yours, meaning the Lions. Stop it. You're just making us laugh.
Man,
Okay, that's number 3.
Right.
That's number 2. That's number 2. Number 3, here's one
Dan,
thing.
I'll remember this.
Sure.
We're going to bring the tape back this fall.
I'm sure you remember it, Molly.
No,
No difference.
No, because I think he's onto something.
Hold on, he's not. Stop it. The point is this, though.
He's not. Stop
Listen, here's the deal.
Look at Bird.
Should we consider something?
What?
Should we consider one thing? Is it possible? I'm just throwing this to y'all. Is it possible that Green Bay is like, show up our defense.
Yes.
Give the offense more opportunities in terms of having bites at the apple. Make sure you got a defense that's going to stop offenses, et cetera, right? This brother was talking all of this junk, and he wanted his money.
Nah,
Let
he
him
ain't trying
figure it
to
out.
self-sabotage
No.
This guy, soap opera, always coming up with the
I'm talking about
theories.
Green Bay is saying.
Who was talking all that?
No.
Rodgers.
I'm saying Green Bay is saying. You supposed to be the man?
No.
You supposed to be the man?
You love
is it possible?
No, they're not.
Is it possible?
They're not purposely hoping he fails.
I didn't say that.
hold on.
I said, they said, listen, we'll take care of this, and since you that dude, go ahead and get it
you
done.
You love conspiracy theories. You're such a soap opera guy.
But they offered
he didn't want to be there.
more money. He didn't want to be there.
Right, yeah, because
they offered him more money.
But they hesitated, as you pointed out.
Yeah, they hesitated.
Exactly. And he got tired of it and said, hey, let me go to a more stable situation.
They wanted to keep him.
I understand that, but you know, damn it, they waited until
Here's my question.
to offer him that
Here's
money.
my question.
Last word.
Going into the draft, do we believe that Aaron Rodgers had confidence, like a supreme level of confidence of the people that are offense? Heavens no. So we wake up Friday morning, his feelings aren't any different. We'll see what happens tonight.
But he's saying the right things,
cool
like
on
he's a match up with
He seemed perfectly
Well,
fine.
maybe
on Monday, this is a different conversation.
if they get a John Mechie from Alabama or George Pickens, then I'll feel differently Monday.
All of a sudden they trade for somebody out there, but there's some veteran receivers that's out there that can still
Julio
help.
Jones,
Mechie.
Odell Beckham
Mechie coming out of
Jr.
Alabama.
Odell's the only one.
There's still Julio and Odell. Yeah,
You
I
still
know,
got
I know.
Landry out
All
there?
right, from one major wide receiver move to another. You're
T.O. wants to
done.
play still.
And perhaps you're so stupid. You with the drama. Always about the drama. Okay, the biggest surprise of the entire draft. The Tennessee Titans traded A.J. Brown to the Philadelphia Eagles for the 18th and 101st picks in this year's draft. A.J. Brown teams up with Devontae Smith to give a 1-2 punch for quarterback Jalen Hurts. The Eagles finished 3 games behind the Cowboys last year in the NFC East. I've got a Cowboy with me and an Eagle fan by marriage, along with Stephen A., who spent 18 years in Philly. What was it, the Philadelphia Inquirer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I should know that.
Journalist.
Yeah.
It's just
So I have to ask the question. We don't have time for your resume. Are the Eagles now passing the Cowboys? Did you hear me? Sorry, he's just bragging on himself.
Me first?
Yeah.
I already know what he gonna say. I ain't even worried about it.
The Eagles were above the Cowboys heading into the draft last night. They surely are now.
With Jalen Hurts at quarterback.
Absolutely. Guys, Molly, this game's for 22 people on the... Yeah, these ain't just quarterbacks.
Oh,
The Eagles were a better football team heading into... The Cowboys, the truth about the Cowboys are they're weak on the offensive line. Their number 2 wide receivers coming off of an ACL surgery, and they lost their edge rusher. So they took a tackle out of Tulsa, and people are saying he's going to be a really good player. I'm not going to pretend that I know all about that, but he's got a lot of penalties. So they addressed something that they had to do.
A lot of holding.
The Eagles legitimately are going to be the toughest team in the NFL to tackle. One of the toughest teams in the NFL to tackle. Jalen Hurts is going to be a problem. Miles Sanders is going to be a problem. Goddard's a problem. A.J. Brown's a monster. Smith, I mean, they're going to be a difficult... The Cowboys right now they have issues. I think they did a disciplined and smart draft. The Eagles were already ahead of them going into last night. They are a step above the Dallas Cowboys in division favorites morning after the NFL draft. No question about it.
I think it's even. I think the Eagles and the Cowboys are even based on the Cowboys losing the players that they lost in the offseason. But look, man, they still got some of the core pieces on the offensive side of the ball. Dalton Schultz is still there. CeeDee Lamb is still there. The running game is still there, and the quarterback is still there. Defensively, they've gotten better over time. Now you in your second year as the defensive coordinator, you're certainly going to be better there. The Eagles certainly got better. But they were away from the Cowboys to begin with.
Not according to Dan.
Well, Dan
and Michael
like the Eagles, though. Come on, man, stop.
Oh, you don't like the Cowboys?
Yeah.
No, I just do what I do.
Michael Irvin sat here yesterday and said Dallas is going to the Super Bowl.
Come on, man. We talking to Keyshawn. Hell yeah. You do have a soft spot for the Cowboys. Yes, you do.
I got you, Steven. Yeah, I got you, Jerry. I'll say good stuff on you. Yeah, I got you.
Is that why we're blue? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
That's right. That's probably why. That's probably why.
You were worse than Marcus.
That's not true.
Would you like to speak on this subject?
Listen, first of all, let's address the obvious.
What?
It don't take that much to be better than the Cowboys. Can we just say that? Can we just say that? It don't take much. I mean, it's not like you got to be world beaters in order to be better than the Cowboys. That ain't hard. Okay, we understand that. Let's get that out the way. Now, having said all of that, I must say the Cowboys did shellac the Philadelphia Eagles pretty good last year. 41-21 one game. What was it the other? I forgot what the score was. They outscored them ultimately 92-47 in the two games that they played against them. Just shellacked them. To me, Philadelphia has a chance to be better because all the parts around Jalen Hurts are definitely comparable to anything that the Cowboys can throw at you. In my estimation, I like it. My question mark is about my brother Jalen Hurts. I got a lot of faith in him. He's got the moxie. He's got that swag. He's a competitor, and I think that he's going to go out there. But, with 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, just completed 61% of his passes, I got some question marks about Jalen Hurts. We got to see how much he develops.
Let me help you understand. When you go out there and you get an A.J. Brown, there's a reason. Catch radius. A lot of times, quarterbacks may throw a ball that you think, oh, he really threw it to him. It was great. If that's another receiver, it's over his head. But when you got a huge catch radius, Jalen Hurts all of a sudden starts to look like, I'll say it, a type of Dan Marino-looking thing. And don't say Dan Marino, but I'm talking about point accuracy.
Yeah, and also, isn't it this key that they're going to take A.J. Brown, and they're going to make this very simple.
Yeah,
this is going to be like RPO-based offense, run-pass option to allow Jalen Hurts to be athletic. And these throws aren't going to be, he's going to have to make difficult throws on third down, but it's going to be A.J. run a 5-yard slant, and then Jalen make the easy throw and go be a monster with the ball in your hands.
Here's the
it's
shallow
going to be
cross.
catch and run offense.
Here's the shallow cross, boom, give it to him. And then you got Devontae. You got Devontae Smith there who's running, who's getting in his own. Jalen Rigger, I don't know yet. Everybody want to throw him in the trash can yet. Give him an opportunity. He got hurt early on in his career. Just give him one more.
And the Giants just aren't in this conversation?
He's got Giants.
I'm saying the Giants just aren't even a part of this?
No. But they
had a great
2024.
They had a great
2024 is when they matter.
You'll lose next year.
The Giants had the best.
Probably the year, and then you'll be relevant in the picture.
Giants had the best first round they've had since Lawrence Taylor.
Let me ask you this question, Dan. Will they take Malik Willis at all? You think?
No, I think I can see them trading for Baker Mayfield or drafting Sam Howell before they draft.
You're saying the Giants?
You know why?
Well, no, because they didn't pick up Danny Dimes.
That's why I'm asking you. And
his fifth-year option.
Malik Willis is closer to Josh Allen's style, ability.
No, that's a good point. Yeah.
Running and stuff.
If they got Baker, hold on, one more thing. If they got Baker Mayfield?
No. Molly, quick
question. What about this kid to back up in Baltimore, Huntley?
He's from Utah.
How come we don't talk about him enough? I mean,
why
listen,
we don't talk about him?
I understand he's a back. We talk about Baker Mayfield, ain't we? Talk about Baker Mayfield.
was a start.
I understand that. And
the backup to Lamar Jackson, why would you even?
Because I like the way he looked when I saw him.
Yeah, but where's he going? What we didn't talk about it for?
I'm just saying.
2 years from now, we might be having a conversation about it.
He's just fishing for his Steelers in case things don't work out.
Class is where the Giants get their guy. Next year's class.
It's cool. I'm just living for the future.
I can't see Dable going after Baker Mayfield. Don't see that.
No.
For a fifth-round pick, I could see it.
Don't see that.
All right. Let's get into break, guys. It's still to come on First Take. Did you see what? The fallout continues from the disappointing ending to the Nets season. After getting swept by the Boston Celtics, Kyrie's squad has been at the center of a lot of conversation, including on this show. He tweeted this yesterday. When I see my name or my brothers and sisters' names getting spun through the media, I refer to all my research about who they are. Their job is to control public perception, all while profiting off of discussing, discrediting, and disrespecting people's lives for entertainment. He went on to say, I send shots at the puppet masters, not the puppets. All the puppets do is run around society trying to gain popularity and state opinions. What a life. My name is worth billions to these media corporations. My brothers and sisters who deal with this know exactly what I mean. All right, Stephen A. and Keyshawn still here with me. Stephen A., your response to those tweets, and there were more by Kyrie. That was just a portion of them.
I'm going to be calm when I say this, Key. We are witnessing one of the most delusional athletes in American history. He's lost. Because he's so big on telling everybody else they're lost. Kyrie is also slick because he's trying to get away with something that I'm not going to allow him to get away from. You can try to paint this issue, Kyrie, into anything you want. What it comes down to and what everybody's focusing on, you don't want to show up to work. You want to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, how you want to do it, while you got your hand out for somebody else's money. And then when you get called on it, we're the peons. We're the ones who are puppets. So before you excoriated us, now you're pitying us. Because what you want to do is highlight the puppet masters, who you are worth billions to. You're not worth billions, bro. Millions, yes. Billions, no. That's delusional. You gave that up years ago. Kyrie Irving, Keyshawn, as I've said on many occasions, is arguably the most spectacular talent in the NBA. He is box office. I remember taking the liberty of calling out Isaiah Thomas, my buddy, because he was on NBA TV the night Kyrie Irving dropped 60. And basically the paraphrase, like, you see this, Stephen A., what about now, blah, 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 blah. And I said to Isaiah Thomas, what the hell you think I'm talking about? That's what we want to see. You're so spectacular. We want to see you play. Kyrie actually looks down on us because we want to see him play. And we're demanding that you play. You played 20 games your first year in Brooklyn. That means you missed, 62 games, whatever, but I think the season was halted at that time because of the pandemic, okay? But you missed your share of games. You come back the next year, you play 54 games. You come back this year, it's the pandemic. You missed 53 games. Kyrie Irving is one of the greatest professionals at missing work. Right now, the season is over. He got 6 months off. 6 months off on top of the 53 games that he missed, okay? And he's getting paid over $30 million. And don't think for 1 second he didn't get his money. He got money now. He got his money when he missed. So here you are. You don't want to work unless you want to do it when you want to do it. You come back from the whole mandate, and even though you had spectacular games, there were other games where you were struggling, and literally he went on the record and was talking about he ain't got his legs. That he's a little bit tired. Well, what the hell were you doing with all of that time off? It's beyond the pale to ask that question. And then you go out on a Twitter rant and you start spewing this stuff. Why? Because the media who gets paid to cover the sport is asking you about the sport you voluntarily signed up to play, getting paid an exorbitant amount of dollars to play. Half the time you don't show up to work. They point it out. They point out the load that you put on your teammates because of your absence and talk about how that may very well be the reason why you got swept out of the first round. And that is on us. See, when you talk about, Keyshawn, a player, and we're talking about, the media's talking about your personal life, I'm down with you, bro. Personal life ain't none of our business. You know me. You know how I roll. Ain't none of my damn business. Yeah. Play. What you do with your personal life is your business. I ain't got nothing to say about that. Okay? But what you sign up for professionally, what people are professionally assigned to cover, they have a right to sit up there and say, yo, you ain't showing up to work. There's always something with you. There's always something. And so when he goes on a Twitter rant like this, to me, it is an evasive tactic to try to infuse or implement race, beliefs, or whatever into the equation. Ain't nobody going there. All we saying is you are a spectacular talent who is a professional at taking time off. It's 11 years in this league, Keyshawn. He has played 60 games or less 7 times. That means in nearly 3/4 of his career, or to nearly 2/3 of his career, this brother takes a quarter of the season off on top of the 6 months he religiously gets off. It's egregious. It makes no sense. And the fact that he could sit up there and act at a time when he is swept, home watching the playoffs just like us, not participating, having broomsticks brought to your building, a building you very infrequently show up for, by the way, to sit up there and act like you are a victim and somebody has mistreated you is what I find weak and sad.
What I would say about this, though, Stephen A., look, if I'm giving him any advice, stop being rabbit ears. Don't, you know me.
Yeah.
I don't give a damn about what I played, about what the media said. That's just play. Whatever the case may be, you play. Whether you black, you white. I've had black writers say negative things about me. I've had white writers say negative things about me. Didn't affect my life one bit.
Right.
As far as his decision not to get vaccinated affected his team, I believe that. But it's his choice on whether or not he wants somebody sticking a needle in his arm.
Sure.
It's his choice. But when you make that choice, in that decision, here's the consequence. You're going to wind up, as he said, having no continuity with the team. Things are all messed up. James Harden leaving because he didn't want to put up with it anymore. That's what's going to come about it. And you are right. People are paid in the media to cover a sport because that's what you're supposed to do. And you have an opinion based on what you see. Doesn't mean you dislike him. You're not in his personal life or anything like that. But again, the one thing that I would say to Kyrie, stop having rabbit ears, man. Stop paying attention to the negativity that you think that's out there.
One of the things I want to say, and I want to bring you up, because you were in the media capital of the world. You got drafted #1 overall by the New York Jets. You were in the media capital of the world. Yeah, Keyshawn, you didn't give a damn. But there was a reason why you could get away with not giving a damn. And it wasn't just because of your ability on the football field. It's because you showed up to work. See, that's a key thing. In other words, you sat up there and somebody talked to you about your job. If you had a difference of opinion than they did, fine. But they were talking to you about a job you were doing. This brother is offended that people are pointing out you're not doing your job because you ain't showing up. When Kevin Durant was out on the court, we made the argument. Kevin Durant didn't say much about it. He tried his best, but he looked exhausted at times, okay? And looked injured. Nobody wants to point out how, all of those nights you had to go out on the court without Kyrie. Who's the reason you came to Brooklyn? Who was the reason James Harden came to Brooklyn? Who assembled the squad? Steve Nash is in Brooklyn because Kyrie and KD signed off on it because Kyrie got KD to sign off on it. All of this stuff. You got your fingerprints all over this franchise, but you didn't show up when it counted, and you detrimentally hurt the team, and everybody else are puppets and puppet masters because we point out that you did not show up to do your job and had a negative impact on this team.
That's misinformation being given to him by somebody, even his own self. Misinformation about the way people view him not playing. If he would have simply got vaccinated, he would have played. But if you remember early on,
right.
He didn't know. So he didn't know the mandate was coming down.
But you have to remember what I said. Remember, before there was a vaccine, the brother got 10 months off.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks into the season, took time off because he was traumatized by the riots. So traumatized that he was caught partying. And then the NBA had to make him stay off additional time because he violated safety protocols. What I'm saying to you is that we have evidence that shows that Kyrie marches to his own beat. It's not that he's lazy. It's not that he doesn't put in work. He's the kind of dude, Molly and Keyshawn, Kyrie will do 3 hours. Let's say, for example, hypothetically, it's 3 hours. So you got practice from 10 a.m. to noon. Nah, that brother want to do from 3 to 6. Nah, he want to do from 5 to 8. It's not that he don't want to put in the 3 hours. He want to do it when he wants to do it. That's why he said we don't need a coach, because he didn't want somebody to have to answer to. And see, when people point this stuff out, which is factual, the evidence is there. He sits up there and acts like he's the victim, which he's a master at, by the way. And what my disgust, let me also express my disgust to some, not all, not most, but to some Brooklyn Nets fans. Here's the deal, y'all. You can support the brother. I know this much. I'm Knicks first, New York. If the Knicks ain't winning, I want somebody from New York to win, damn it, because it don't happen often, okay? Okay? I struggle with that, right?
Well, you got a whole problem.
I had a whole problem, right? We all know Mets, Yankees, everybody, Giants, Jets, see when I go through all of this stuff, right? Here's my point. You are a Brooklyn Nets fan. Everybody was hyped when Kyrie and KD announced they were coming to Brooklyn, man. You had people buying season tickets, going crazy the whole bit. They were scheduled to play 247 games together. They have played 58 games together. In the 3 years they've been together, they have won 1 playoff series. 1. You look at this team, they have underachieved. It's got his fingerprints all over it. And the brother pocketing $30+ million along the way. And we have the gall to sit up there and say, yo, man, you gonna play? And everybody's trying to make this out to be something it isn't. This ain't about him fasting. It ain't about his religion. It ain't about just the vaccine. It ain't about the vaccine per se. I know indirectly it is. But it was really about you assembled the crew. It wasn't about, just take the vaccine. Yeah, I took it, you took it, but some people don't do it. We good with that. But you got everybody to sign up. Everybody signed up to Brooklyn because of you. And then when some adversity struck, you said y'all on your own. That is what we're talking about with Kyrie Irving. So he can try to change the narrative all he wants to. I'm not, if ever I was committed to making sure somebody don't get the last word, it's him. I ain't letting it happen, ever. Because this brother right here, he will sit up there and twist the narrative, and you got some suckers out here who will buy it. No, he ain't getting no damn last word. Not here, not in this lifetime.
I
feel you.
Not in this lifetime.
We're up against it.
No rabbit ears, though, man.
We're going to revisit this later with Kendrick Perkins.
Sure.
So I'm
He
sure
ain't
Kendrick
getting the last
has a lot
word.
to say about it. Yeah.
He ain't getting the last word. No.
Right.
He's losing.
The 2005 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Marcus Spears, defensive end from LSU.
Rated highest, Mel, at this sort of position.
6'4", 305. I had a heck of a week down in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. He was the highest rated tight end coming out of high school. And Nick Saban at the time said, is he a tight end? Is he a defensive end? Good kid, works hard. They did a no choice, no brainer here for Dallas. They're taking Spears.
Good kid, works hard. My guy, Swaggle, let's go. I like the suit.
Nasty running with that 84 on. It just don't look. He knows what I'm saying. It's football stuff. He doesn't look right running with number
Guess
84
what?
on.
I was a tight end.
You look right
Yeah.
right now.
Thank you.
No, it was a tight end.
Hold on. Because I'm getting emotional right now, because my boys are here. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing you see Keyshawn got that mean mug for everybody else, but when he with me, he's smiling because I'm his boy. You understand what I'm saying? I can get away with stuff with Keyshawn people can't get away with. And then my man Swagoo, too. I mean, this is a beautiful, beautiful
When's
thing.
the last time I saw you in
Here's the
person?
thing. They both got on nice
Maybe a
shades.
year.
They both
Maybe
got
a
on
year.
nice shades of blue.
Yeah, you guys look very
But
nice.
it's not Cowboys blue. And that's the most important thing to point out. It's not Cowboys blue.
You look good, man.
That's right.
Look good.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
real
right.
good.
No, you
That's
both
right.
do. Looks
That's right.
nice.
Big man ball. Big man ball.
All right, let's get it, guys.
I'm glad I see the infamous Shane in person.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is.
Sometimes he wears two.
Look, you got to lean it over the first
The
button.
Ravens traded wide receiver Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals in exchange for Arizona's first-round pick. Can we do some work? Which prompted quarterback Lamar Jackson to post several unhappy tweets about the deal. Can't hide money. Meanwhile, the Packers did not get Aaron Rodgers any help at all in the first round, selecting two defensive players with their first-round picks. Rodgers spoke on the Pat McAfee show about that and about losing Devontae Adams during the offseason. Listen up.
I know that they really liked Wyatt early on and were wondering if he was going to be there at either pick, I believe. And when the linebacker was there in the 20s, and all six of those receivers, I believe it was six who they had first-round grades on, were gone. I think it was pretty obvious that they wanted to shore up those two spots in their mind. It was a little surprising with Devontae. Obviously, when I made my decision, I was still thinking he was going to come back. I was very honest with him about my plans and my future and where I saw, my career going. As far as how many years I wanted to play, it's a tough business. It's a wonderful profession. There's a lot of things that happen that surprise you. I thought that based on the number that we offered Devontae, and being able to play with me for a few more years, would definitely make a difference.
Big Swaggle, I'll start with you here. Who should be more disappointed, Aaron Rodgers or Lamar Jackson? It's good to see he's back doing his appearances.
Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, because he's more impacted by pass catchers. Like, Lamar ain't relying on pass catchers nearly close to what Aaron Rodgers need him to do. And then there's two. Like, the whole conversation for the last 2 years has been about weapons. In Green Bay.
Yes.
And obviously with Devontae's departure, everybody assumed that this would be a wide receiver. And we talked about it leading up in the week. And Kia, we were on together. I said, the Green Bay Packers should be packaging these trades to go up and get a wide receiver. Because it's not only about Aaron Rodgers at this point. Aaron Rodgers might come in the facility after this season and say, I'm done. And you got to go get a great player offensively for whatever quarterback you're going to bring in there. So I don't, it's not even close to me. Lamar Jackson and Marquise Brown have a great relationship. They really good friends. They like hanging out with each other. They drove to games together. So from a personal standpoint, Lamar is hurt and upset that Marquise gone. Lamar Jackson can still be the MVP without Hollywood Brown being there. I think Aaron Rodgers needs some pass catchers.
You know, Aaron Rodgers has had one first-round pick that he threw balls to that the Packers had drafted, and that was Javon Walker. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it tells me he can get away with not having a top-notch wide receiver. Second round, third round, fourth round guys, they can always develop them with a great quarterback.
Yeah.
No question about it. You say Lamar can still be the MVP. No, he can't. Because you got to be able to push the ball down the field some. When he was the MVP, it wasn't all on his legs. He was putting the ball in the air, Marcus.
Key, but
He was putting the ball in the air, big dog.
But that's Mark Andrews has been their leading receiver.
Every single year since he's been in the league at the quarterback position, what is the one thing that we always say, just like Aaron Rodgers?
Evolution of the passing game.
Got an evolution of the passing game. They need a big-time wide receiver. Hollywood Brown last year had 90-plus catches, 1,000 yards, was certainly on his way to looking like a guy who was a second versus a third receiver in the league. They now got rid of this dude. So what does that do to Lamar Jackson? It stunts his growth as a quarterback.
But they drafted Bateman last year to be the one.
Bateman wasn't nowhere to be seen.
He was injured, came back and played strong.
He played 12 games.
No, I didn't say anything about. I said nowhere to be seen.
Okay.
He wasn't out there balling or doing nothing.
So
when we
you
watched
think Lamar more impacted?
I think he's certainly more impacted.
Oh, man.
Certainly more impacted. And on top of that, from a mental standpoint, because that's his friend, because he's driving to and from games, you know what it's like in the league when you lose your best friend alongside of you.
That matters.
Think about it. Guy that you've been with every single day, whether it's off-season in Miami, hanging out in Baltimore, and he's gone, or it tears you completely apart.
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened to OBJ and Landry. Mm-hmm. OBJ left and Landry just kind of fell apart. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just what happens.
I don't disagree with you. My whole point is I just got a different spin on this swag goo because you weren't here for the first segment. My belief is this. I think that when you look at Baltimore has been a bit short-sighted when it comes to making sure you take care of Lamar Jackson by ensuring that he has the weapons that he needs to flourish. You're looking at his running ability. You're taking that for granted because he's so electrifying with the football, running the football, that you don't take into account what he needs in terms of weapons out on that field to really distribute the football too. You got Mark Andrews. Hollywood Brown was a 1,000-yard receiver. Bateman needs to develop more and what have you. But the bottom line is we haven't seen enough weapons around him for you to let go of somebody like a Hollywood Brown, in my estimation.
Yeah.
I think in the Green Bay Packers, you're right, but I think they did it on purpose. See, here's their thing. We did it your way. You was making all this noise, Aaron Rodgers, about us. Well, you had Devontae Adams, and you had Valdez-Scantling, and you had Lazar, and you had Tunyon, even though he got hurt, and you got Aaron Jones, okay? Aaron Jones in the backfield, all right, along with Dillon. You got all these weapons, and you still gave us 10 points in a divisional playoff game on our home field against porn star Jimmy. I mean, come on now. And so the bottom line is they sat up there and said, we gonna sit up there and we gonna handle our business on the defensive side of the ball. We gave you all this money. You supposed to be Aaron Rodgers, right? You supposed to be that dude. Figure it out. You and Mr. Matt LaFleur. You know, you the offensive coordinator formerly in Tennessee, even though you were the 27th ranked defense, you still got the head coaching job. You got 13-3, 13-3, and then 13 and 4 seasons on your resume. Your background is offensive. You got to sit up there. You got the head coach. You got the quarterback. Okay. Figure it out. That's what I think Green Bay is saying, Aaron
I'm going to
Rodgers.
flip you real quick. Come on my side, on the dark side with me.
Sure.
Young quarterbacks. What is it that general managers and head coaches do for young quarterbacks? They go out and they get top-notch receivers.
Yeah.
They go get Stephon Diggs. We just saw the Philadelphia Eagles acquire A.J. Brown to make Jalen Hurts good. They just took a guy away from Lamar Jackson. Think about it. They just took him away.
Key and Stephen A., come on, man. Let's be honest about what we watch between these teams.
Okay.
What team is more predicated on throwing the football?
That's the Green Bay.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's true.
That's the only answer.
But when they believe in Aaron Rodgers, though?
Yes,
but
absolutely.
This is what you can't.
But schematically, Stephen A., you're not asking Lamar Jackson to be that.
But Marcus, no, Keyshawn, hold
at
on.
times that makes sense.
Keyshawn, your argument is that Aaron Rodgers will cover a multitude of sins, but to what
Absolutely.
extent? The goal is to win
I saw Aaron
a
Rodgers.
Super Bowl. Can they win a Super Bowl
Molly.
with what they have?
And to that point, you talk about the Green Bay-San Francisco game. Devontae Adams had 90 yards in the first half. They took him away, and the Green Bay Packers couldn't score a touchdown. And everybody's like moving around like, oh, we cool, we got Aaron Rodgers. Our last sample size is when Devontae Adams was taken away by the San Francisco 49ers. They could not get in the end zone. Now, am I saying Aaron Rodgers ain't great? No. I'm saying when you look at the NFL right now, who's Aaron Rodgers going to beat with them weapons if they get to the
We're talking Super Bowl.
Hold on now. But when you take it from a macro perspective, and I'm just throwing it out, listen.
Okay.
Your point's valid. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, very valid.
It's very valid. Both of y'all. I'm not questioning that. Y'all are the football dudes. Y'all know.
Okay.
I'm just reporting on it.
Okay.
Here's my point to you. I suspect, I'm like, if you went through, if you were the executive, if you were Gutekunst in Green Bay, and you went through what you went through with Aaron Rodgers, and you heard all that jibber-jabbering about, you know what, being treated with respect, understanding, right? And then you gave him what he asked. I mean, Randall Cobb was brought back to the team because of Aaron Rodgers. Let's think about this here, right? So I gave you everything you needed, and this is what you did, right? And now here we are. We're in the situation. We were willing to offer Devontae Adams this money, but we hesitated. Obviously, he left to go with his boy Derek Carr right here in Las Vegas, okay? So the situation is what it is. Is it beyond the realm of comprehension that they sat up there and said, you Aaron Rodgers, you got a running game. You got an offensive line. You're supposed to be that dude. We still got Lazard here. I know Valdez-Scantling left and Devontae Adams is going, but you're supposed to be that dude. So we're going to take care of this side of the ball.
Yeah.
What you going to do? Is that beyond the realm of comprehension?
All right.
No, they not sabotaging the situation.
I didn't say sabotage.
Well,
I said they're leaning.
I did.
They're saying, so you handle it then.
This guy, too much time in Hollywood.
Okay.
No.
I'm just asking.
He could be frustrated. He can be frustrated that they didn't package them picks and go up and get a wide receiver. Like we all can.
Right.
Like we all thought Green Bay needed. But ultimately, this goes back to the conversation we've been having for 3-4 years.
Okay.
What has the Green Bay Packers front office done so damn wrong?
Nothing.
So they draft defensive players, and we heard Aaron say the receivers were gone, right? But now you're in a 3-year window, hopefully, to win a Super Bowl. We all agree that when they gave him $150 million, this was about winning a Super Bowl, right?
No, we said that it was about him.
Him winning a Super Bowl,
but
right? Stephen A.
Your mic.
Him winning a Super Bowl is what we all agreed on.
Okay.
So now y'all telling me that without his best weapon,
he can still win a Super Bowl. Is that what you're getting ready to say?
Yeah.
The draft ain't over. I just want to point that out. I know, Marcus, it's not over yet.
Okay.
It's not over yet.
It ain't over till it's over, but we got to get a quick break, so this segment is. Still to come on First Take. Don't look now, but is there a new round one? The question is, are the Eagles passing the Cowboys in the NFC East? Swaggo, you get to start again because you're our fresh take here in the second hour.
No, they're not. And I won't say anybody will. I think Dak Prescott's still the best quarterback. And it proved to be true last year when I fought everybody. Washington football team.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia
Commanders.
Eagles, look at them sneaking up. Yeah, the Commanders now. But this really boils down to what Philly is doing trajectory-wise is at a faster rate of getting better than the Cowboys. Now, ultimately, what the Cowboys did in the draft was a huge need with what they lost at left guard. Now, can the kid play? Tyler Smith is who they drafted. He had 12 holding penalties last year. That was an issue for the departing guard, Connor Williams. But ultimately, this comes back to Dak Prescott. Yeah. And this year in particular, I am going to hold, y'all know how much I love Dak Prescott, but Dak Prescott got to be held accountable this year in particular because you have to reach a point now where you got your contract, you have to overcome what you don't have. That's the expectation. I gave you a year because of your ankle and you coming back off of missing the entire football season. Mm-hmm. But this particular year, because he said, I feel great, the offseason is going well, I'm available. Dak Prescott has to overcome whatever the Dallas Cowboys lack personnel-wise based on who he is and who he should be in the NFC East.
Here's where I'm not going to say I disagree with you. What I will say is that, first of all, there's the NFC least that we're talking about here, and somehow, some way, even though the Dallas Cowboys did not play down to the competition last year, they shellacked the Eagles in 2 meetings. History tells us you don't get away with that 2 years in a row. You don't do what they did to the Eagles last year and then you turn around and you do that this year. I expect stiffer competition in that regard. That's number one. Number two, Amari Cooper is gone. And I understand there were times he didn't step up, but his veteran, his skill set as a veteran, his route running, that can't be underestimated. Now you got to rely on Gallup, who's coming off an injury, along with C.D. Lamb. So there's question marks because we know C.D. Lamb's a stud, but there are still question marks. Number 3, Ezekiel Elliott didn't look the same last year. Still rushed for 1,000 yards, still averaged about 4.2 yards a carry, but didn't look the same. There was something that appeared to be missing. I'm not saying he's done. I don't believe that about Ezekiel Elliott, honestly. What I'm saying is it does give you cause to pause, which, by the way, then turns around with the offensive line being seen as questionable because attrition has kicked in over the years. They're not the stout offensive line they used to be. So if I got a questionable, and not horrible or anything like that, but if I got a questionable offensive line, I got a questionable running back compared to what he used to be. I'm depleted to some degree at the wide receiver spot because I lost Amari Cooper, which forces me to be reliant upon those other guys. That puts more pressure on Dak Prescott. Can he handle it? Sure. Has he handled it? No. And so I look at it from that perspective and I say, okay, I can understand people who put the Dallas Cowboys in front of everybody. I can understand those who don't. And when you look at the Eagles, the Devontae Smith, we're picking up this cat, A.J. Brown. It's going to come down to me. Jalen Hurts, are you ready to ascend to a point where you could give Dak Prescott, Carson Wentz, and Daniel Jones a run for their money as to being the best quarterback in the NFC East? Yeah. We'll see.
Well, I would think he's already passed 2 of those dudes.
So do I.
Carson Wentz and Daniel Jones, no question.
So do I.
But the question is, did the Eagles passing the Cowboys in the NFC East? No, they're not passing them. They closed the gap some based on what Marcus said. Things left and things came to the Eagles. They pick up A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
You obviously know about Devontae Smith, the big defensive tackle, the space eater that they drafted up. Yeah, that makes sense. But the Cowboys still got core people in place. Ezekiel Elliott, Pollard, Dalton Schultz. The offensive line has been suspect, but something about veteran offensive lines, because they've been together, they know each other. Then on the defensive side, you got Diggs, you got Michael Parsons. They bring back the safety and Curse. They bring back Kadavius. How you say his name?
Kadavius?
No, the safety kick.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Kadasia or whatever it says.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So that core is still intact. Second year with a defensive unit from Dan Quinn. All that gets put together, and you go out and you draft a guard that certainly they need, and they got other picks coming. So it's close, but they haven't.
Let me just say this quickly. Hold on one second. Because you weren't here. Dan Orlovsky earlier said that the Eagles had already passed the Cowboys even before draft night.
Yeah, I know.
Sure he did.
I'm just letting you know. Wait, so just so I know.
He said last year that the Washington football team was better than
Okay, so let me ask you this. So in that division, it's Eagles, Cowboys, and that's really it? Washington's not going to do anything. And I know you guys already said you're down on the Giants.
I'm not. Be careful about
I like Washington
dismissing the Commanders.
Yeah, I like Washington.
The only thing I can listen. Jason Wright, I'm happy that he's there, and Julie Donaldson and all these others. I've known them for years. Only thing I can't stand about the Commanders is 2 things. Their name, because it stinks. I don't know why the hell they're so corny. You should have said the Washington Generals or something. The Commanders. This sound weak. I don't know who the hell came up with that. That's number 1. And number 2, Carson Wentz is your quarterback. I mean, we know if they listen. I talk about the Cowboys being an accident waiting to happen. I mean, Carson Wentz.
But you don't know. You don't know what Carson can show
but the answer,
us.
but the answer to the question is you bet on the most consistent thing. That's Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Like out of everything in this conference that we gonna talk about, the one common denominator we all agree on is that he the best quarterback.
Well, he is the best quarterback, but we all worry about Carson Wentz. What I'm gonna tell you, based on Ron Rivera's recipe, he ain't gonna let Carson Wentz screw it up. He gonna try to run the ball down somebody's throat and dink and dunk and Chase Young go get that dude.
I will tell you this. I'm very happy that Keyshawn and Marcus are here on the record about the Cowboys because it will be held against them.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Michael Irvin said the Cowboys are winning a Super Bowl.
Who the hell? Who cares?
And the Dallas Mavericks are winning a Super Bowl.
He got about as much credibility as Jamie Foxx with their Cowboy love themselves. Ain't nobody trying to listen to them.
Kyrie may have gotten swept. The fallout continues from the disappointing ending to the Nets season after getting swept by the Boston Celtics. Kyrie's squad has been at the center of a lot of conversation, including on this show. Kyrie tweeting this yesterday. When I see my name or my brothers and sisters' names getting spun through the media, I refer to all my research about who they are. Their job is to control public perception, all while profiting off discussing, discrediting, and disrespecting people's lives for entertainment. He went on to say, I send shots at the puppet masters, not the puppets. All puppets do is run around society trying to gain popularity and state opinions. What a life. My name is worth billions to these corporations. My brothers and sisters who deal with this know exactly what I mean. Kendrick Perkins joining the show. Big Perk. Here's my camera. Great to have you here, sir. You want to start?
Good to see you,
Can I start with Perk?
I already
Okay.
spoke. I want Kendrick Perkins. I want to hear what he has to say.
Perk, talk to me. Your response to what you just heard from Kyrie Irving, and obviously there were more tweets than what I just read.
I don't get it. I don't get it when it comes down to Kyrie and his Twitter fingers. And I say that to say this. Listen, you got swept by the Boston Celtics. You didn't win one game. What was that same energy when it was come between those lines against Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and those boys who the ones that gave you that spanking? But here's another thing about Kyrie and a lot of other players around the league. We're talking about the game of basketball, man. The game of basketball. Me, Kendrick Perkins, right? A Shaq and the Fool MVP when I was in the league, made Shaq and the Fool plenty of times. Guess what? I went to sleep with the AC on 60 and the fan blowing in my face every damn night. Because at the end of the day, this is what I signed up for. And you know what's even more crazy to me? Who was Kyrie's mentor? Who did Kyrie look up to? The late, great Kobe Bryant. And God rest his soul, but if Kobe Bryant was here, I'm pretty sure he would be disappointed in the way that Kyrie is handling this particular situation. You know, Kobe Bryant, when you talk about the Mamba mentality, Kobe Bryant, it wasn't always peaches and cream with Kobe. Kobe got criticized. Kobe took it like a man. Kobe bounced back in great fashion. Kobe Bryant was a guy that was the ultimate professional for his handling criticism, whether it was ups or downs. And to see Kyrie come out and lash out and all the time his cop-out is going at media, right? Let me attack the media. Why you didn't attack Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, and Marcus Smart when you was between those lines? You had a good game, one. Find you. We need, and I really didn't want to, come on here and let's go at another black man, because I hate when we're only talking basketball and somebody try to make it about black and white or make it about, it's brothers are going against African Americans.
Right.
That is so disturbing to me. We're talking about basketball.
Kendrick Perkins, appreciate those sentiments. Don't disagree with you. But I'm going to go there because I think it's important. And you brought it up because I was going there anyway, so you led me to that. You know, that's exactly what makes Kyrie Irving this particular morning very disgusting. And I'm just going to say that way. We are talking about basketball, but that's not where Kyrie is trying to direct us. With his delusional tendencies notwithstanding, what he's trying to do is make this about a race thing and talking about brothers going up against brothers. Then he calls us puppets, but he's saying, hey, well, you know what? I'm going to point the finger at the puppet masters. So we puppets now because we don't agree with him and we're willing to hold him accountable for not showing up to do his job. We're talking about basketball, a job that he signed up for. But since he wants to go race, let's do that. I'm happy to have that discussion. Name the time and place. I'll show up. Kyrie can invite whoever he wants to. All right? Kyrie could come up here. I promise you, I'll do the same thing I did for Colin Kaepernick. You have an open invitation. You want to sit up here across from me for 2 hours. I give you 2 hours, unedited, live television. I dare you to try to sit across from me and justify the nonsense you put up. I double dare you. Okay? I'll come on your own damn podcast. Okay? I'll come on with you and KD. You can't defend what you do. You can't defend your inactivity, your negligence as a professional in terms of your unwillingness to show up to work. And when we get down to brothers, let's talk about that for a second. You know, Kendrick Perkins, love you, my brother. You know that. And got my man Swagoo here. I'm smiling all morning because I got brothers like Keyshawn Johnson and Swagoo, Marcus Spears. I miss my brother Ryan Clark. I know he out here in Vegas somewhere chilling out, enjoying the sunshine while I'm in here in the studio early in the morning, but I'll get on him on another day. You know why I bring brothers like that up? Because when you got real brothers like that who are about being brothers, they'll hold you accountable if you're wrong. You see, when real knows real, when you hang out with the right people, when you associate yourself with the right people, you don't have to worry about the cloth that you wear, who you are, what you represent, or where you're coming from. There's been times where a guy like Steven Jackson, for all the smoke, has gotten on me and people are sitting up there, oh, Steven Jackson. They don't realize I love that brother because he ain't fake and he ain't phony. I don't agree with him sometimes, but I got love for him because he comes from a unique place. And if he got something to say, he going to roll right up on you and say it. He ain't going to hide. He ain't going to send some hanger-on. He ain't going to send some representative or anything like that. He's going to do it for us. So is Matt Barnes. That's why everybody should listen to their podcast because they special dudes. We don't have to agree all the damn time, but I know they're real. I know they're authentic, okay? My only issue with Steven Jackson is don't think somebody is telling us to say these things. This is how we feel. I'm responsible for my thoughts. I think that everybody knows the kind of position that I put in, that I'm in at this particular moment in time of my career. Not that I've ever done otherwise, but if ever there was a time where I'm free to express myself, it's now, the position that I sit in. And so my point is, these are my thoughts. This is how I feel. And it's based on Kyrie's resume. It's based on what Kyrie has done. Since winning the chip, what have you done? You sat up there, you forced your way out of Cleveland. You sat up there and threw LeBron James under the bus, then you apologized. You departed from Boston after making a promise to stay and then left, but then you want to castigate their fan base. You go to Brooklyn and you don't show up to work more than half the time, but you got your hand out for the money. But somehow, some way, we're puppets. Why are we puppets? Why? Because we actually work for our money and we don't take time off every chance we get? This is who Kyrie is, and this is who he has become. He has not progressed. He has regressed, okay? He's aloof. He's snobbish. He goes about the business of trying to give the impression that he's better and more intellectual and more in tune than other people, and he's willing to throw his own brothers under the bus while talking about brotherhood. Just because we said, damn, bro, can you show up to work? If that ain't egregious, I don't know what is. But like I said before you came on this show, Kendrick Perkins, and I'm going to say it again, Kyrie Irving, more than anything, you are a superstar, spectacular basketball player. Let me tell you what you ain't. Let me tell you what you ain't. You ain't a dude that's going to get the last word. I don't give a damn what microphone you have, what television camera you have, what support you think you have, or whatever the case may be. You ain't going to have the last word. That's reserved for people who actually show up to do their job. We ain't talking about race. We ain't talking about black versus white. We ain't talking about puppets or puppet masters. We ain't talking about the media. We ain't talking about peons. We're talking about you not wanting to show up to work, and you get swept, and you on the court smiling like you on vacation. Literally smiling like you on vacation after getting swept, and then go into a post-game locker room in front of the press and talks about how you are going to sit down with KD and management and plot out the future. You didn't even have the decency to really question whether or not you even deserve to be in that room planning anything. That should be reserved for people who show up to work, Kendrick Perkins. That's what should be reserved for.
You know what? I agree. And Stephen A. and Molly, look, let me ask y'all a question, or let me point this out to y'all, okay? And taking it a step further, when we talk about the quote-unquote brotherhood, and we talk about, brothers protecting brothers, and we're talking about the African-American community, okay? Here's the one problem that I have, and not just with Kyrie Irving, but others that's voicing their opinion. Listen, if we all are fighting the same fight, it don't matter how we're fighting it. And I'm not talking about just basketball. If you choose to go a route and you choose to go out there on the streets and march and you do it your way, I tip my hat to you. But that might not be my preference. I may be doing it in a whole nother area. But the way that I want to do it, or the way that Stephen A. want to do it, or the way that Steven Jackson, my good brother, want to do it, or the way that even Molly or Marcus Spears want to do it, long as their heart is in the right place and they're doing it for the right reasons, let them do it the way that they want to do it. But at the end of the day, I don't even know why we even got to have this conversation because, again, nobody talked about Kyrie or questioned the character of Kyrie Irving. No one disrespected his family members. We was just talking about a series where he got swept. He got swept. Like that's like you didn't win a game. That's what we're talking about.
That's you. I'm talking about a brother that doesn't want to show up to work half the time. And it cost them that playoff series. That's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about just a series. I'm talking about a dude that wants to get paid like he's somebody that shows up to work all the time, and he has a resume that shows this brother will take off more vacations than anybody else. And that's guaranteeing himself 6 months of the year off. And he still finds a way to take time off. And it's robbing the fans of Brooklyn. It's robbing NBA fans of his spectacular greatness that we rarely get to see because he has bigger things to do while he's collecting the NBA check for work he don't put in. That's what I'm saying.
All right, I'll end the segment by saying that you started it, Kendrick, with Kobe Bryant. And I remember having a conversation with Kobe Bryant about social media, and he said he absolutely never would have had it when he played because it's just too much of a distraction. Takes, let's get it. Joel Embiid had 33 and 10. James Harden 22 and 15 assists as the Sixers eliminated the Raptors 132-97 in Game 6 of their series. Philly will take on Miami. Stephen A.
Well, they're going to lose that series. But let me tell you this. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about James Harden. Now, that James Harden that showed up last night in Toronto, that brother was dribbling the ball, blowing by his defenders, pulling up for threes, getting to the basket. That's what I'm looking for. That James Harden, then they could beat Miami. If that James Harden shows up on a consistent basis, that is what I have been looking for from James Harden. And Joel Embiid, they wrapped that thumb up nice, and he looked like Joel Embiid.
All right, staying in Pennsylvania, only one quarterback picked in the first round of the NFL draft last night. Kenny Pickett headed to the Steelers at number 20. He's staying home. It was a beautiful moment. The first quarterback has come off the board in a quarter century. Key, did the Steelers make a mistake drafting Kenny Pickett?
I don't think it was a mistake. I wouldn't have taken any of these quarterbacks in the first round, but they got a lot of intel on him because they share the same building. So they kind of know him a little bit. I thought if they were going to do anything, it was going to be Malik Willis out of Liberty, but they decided to pass him. And I think that's mainly because of familiarity. You know, he has been a turnover machine in his career, but they corrected that a little bit last year. The weather won't be a problem because he played college ball there. And I don't give a damn what nobody says. Stephen A. would say, I don't think he's better than Mitch Trubisky. I just don't. You know, I don't at all. Mitch Trubisky led a team to two playoff appearances, and he got a raw deal dealing with Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
He got a raw deal dealing with Matt Nagy. I mean, come on, clearly everybody can see that now. Yeah. I think he'll do a hell of a job in Pittsburgh, and people going to be like, oh, okay. Sorry about that, Stephen A.
I'm 100% with you. Listen, Key heard me all week. I ain't think none of these dudes first-round quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like, and to be honest with you, it's just it's the draft. It's the way the draft laid out. And there is not a lot of you don't have a lot of things to worry about picking a quarterback at 20th in 2022 in the NFL. You're not paying him a lot of money. It only it's the best thing you could have ever done if he plays well and wins the job and actually gives you a look at what he could potentially be. And then, too, like I think the psychology of the pick, because we all talked about it and we all agreed that Malik Willis was the best quarterback because the athleticism can buy you time until you develop as a quarterback as the quarterback you need to be in the NFL. But when I look at Pickett, I look at the reps, to Key's point, the familiarity of being around Pittsburgh, but I'm not going to come on first take and act like I'm excited about it. I had all these quarterbacks third, fourth round draft picks. I think you got to a point, if you're Pittsburgh, where everybody else you would have had legitimately a first round guy, you would have taken outside of Kenny Pickett if they were already gone. but you get a quarterback at 20, and there's value. There's only upside if he has success. Because guess what? If Kenny Pickett don't ever play well, and he don't ever play in Pittsburgh, we ain't gonna talk about Kenny Pickett. Not going 20. Now, if you would have took him 6 at Carolina and he would have not been the guy, that's a different conversation.
Yeah,
but
20 ain't nothing.
Yeah, to me, Kenny Pickett can be what Baker Mayfield is.
28-0, Stephen A.
We sat here, and I was asked to be sensitive to the fact that it was such a beautiful, mushy moment with him and his family last night. And
It was beautiful.
And
It was gorgeous.
It was.
And I did that. I did that. And then these two here come on TV right in front of my face and say, we wouldn't have took him in the first round. This brother right here on the end, Swag Goose, said, I don't know if I'd have taken him for the third round.
Look, Stephen,
I'm supposed to be excited.
I can bump my jacket, too.
I'm supposed to be excited.
Even the
I'm supposed to be
ring
excited. Now listen. This is what breaks my heart. Because when they say he's a turnover machine, that's what Keyshawn said.
Just look at the numbers.
Tell me, I'm not disputing it. But because I ain't seen the brother. Okay, damn it, I ain't watching Pitt. I just ain't watching Pitt. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. I'm not doing it. I watch Ohio State. I watch Michigan. I watch Michigan State who beat Pitt in the bowl game. I'm watching LSU. I'm watching Alabama. All right, Georgia, that's what I'm watching. Pac-12, like the Sunshine, like football in the Sunshine, like see USC do their thing, Oregon, all that stuff. So I took the liberty of watching Pitt. Keyshawn Johnson is telling me the brother is turnover prone. So let's look at the opposition.
Remember your brother Lou Riddick went to Pitt.
Yeah, that's what I told him.
Damn it, I don't care about Mr. Chippendales right now. I don't care about Mr. Chippendales right now with his pink blazer.
I like that. I like his blazer.
He was clean.
I liked
He was
it.
clean
He
last
thought he
night.
was clean.
I did. I like the color.
He thought he was clean. I like the outfit the day before personally, but that's just me. Here's what I'm asking y'all. Massachusetts, Tennessee, Western Michigan, New Hampshire, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech, a Clemson that's not Clemson right now, not this past season, okay? Miami, Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, Syracuse, Wake Forest, and Michigan State. And you're telling me this brother's a turnover machine? How am I supposed to feel about this?
Well, he got better this year, but through the course of his career,
That is not what I asked you.
We're out of time, so you're lucky.
they might be able. You got Mike Tomlin there. Run the damn ball, man. Play defense,
All right.
and he can dink and dunk, and we'll call it
Taking a quick commercial break, then
I
we'll
need a bunch of
close
this.
things out from Vegas. More First Take after this quick break.
I gotta admit, Bo, this is nice.
This is Lennon, man.
It's not you.
Lennon.
You shocked me with this right here. I got to give you your props. And big man balling, I see you. But my question, y'all, where's the drip game now? Where's the drip game?
Man,
that's the saying.
I'm 50 years old, Stephen.
What's wrong with the drip
No,
game?
the drip fine.
It drip's fine. I ain't out there too much.
man. It's
I
not
ain't getting nothing
outlandish.
to it's not outlandish like that.
Outlandish, nice little piece.
No, you look good.
All I'm
I
gonna say
just
is,
don't, you know.
bring me one next time.
Here's what I
He
think.
got a bunch of them.
Yeah, I know it.
That's not true.
I know it.
That is not true. That is not true. You just cheat.
Who your jeweler?
Let me
Who
tell you
your
something.
jeweler? Who your jeweler?
No, let me tell you this,
My man
Swaggy.
Gerard.
Yeah.
Don't let it get off of this.
Gerard.
I see him in LA and I see him in New York.
Gerard out
and I
there.
see what he
Oh.
working with.
What?
When I see him in LA.
So you get
and I
brand
see
new
him
in
New
LA?
York. No, he good. No, but it's
We gotta go. We gotta go.